morning, everybody. Welcome to SBC Sports Debate. My name is Galen Odell alongside Chris Gleason and John Betters. And today we're going to start off with talking about the trade deadline coming up for Major League Baseball from a Red Sox perspective. And guys, prior to the show, you've been talking about whether the Red Sox should go after another starting pitcher or just stick with what they got. So, Chris, what do you think about the Red Sox possibly going after a guy like Chris Sale, who has recently become available from the Chicago White Sox?
I don't think they really need to make any more trades at this point. They gave up a top prospect to get Pomerantz, and I think at this point for any guy that would be worth trading for, a Chris Sale, a Jose Fernandez, they would have to give up too many minor league prospects, more than I would be comfortable with. And I think at this point their roster is what it is. They've got a lot of talent, they got a lot of depth. Obviously it's not performing consistently right now on a night-to-night basis, but they're still a good team, and they're still going to compete for a playoff spot. I understand they're going all in to win in Papi's final season, but they've got 4 solid starting pitchers that are all capable of pitching very well, and they just have to go with that at this point. It is what it is. You can only give up so much, I think, or so many prospects.
So, John, what's your take on this situation? Should they go after a guy like Chris Sale, or should they just hold off and possibly go into the offseason and go after the top starting pitcher?
Well, Galen, I have to completely disagree with my co-host Chris here. It's Papi's final season. You have to go all in. And when you think about the playoffs and the playoff push they're going in right now, it's a tight race. So they need something to put them over the top right now, like a Chris Sale. Your back half right now, I don't really know if I trust a number 5 right now, and like an Eduardo Rodriguez, who has come along late but still is young and still very inconsistent. You need three great pitchers for the playoffs. That's what wins you games right now. We've seen it the last couple of years. The Giants, sturdy. You've seen the Cardinals. They've been built. All these teams that have been winning, they've built with 3 consistent all-star pitchers that you need. Right now, the Red Sox have David Price. I wouldn't mind starting Steven Wright in the playoffs, but I think you need a third guy that can hold down you for the playoffs, that can almost propel you and guarantee you the AL East. Not only the AL East, but even maybe into the World Series and winning it.
But what makes you think Pomerantz isn't that guy? He just pitched a great game against Detroit, and he was an all-star this season.
Yeah, Pomerantz in his first game gave up 5 runs in 1 inning.
That was 1 inning. He had 1 bad inning. You're saying pitchers never have a bad inning?
I'm saying he's not played a single game in the playoffs yet. We don't know what he can do in the playoffs. And in Papi's final season, I don't know if I want to take that risk in sending Papi out like that. And why wouldn't you when you can have a surefire? The outfield right now for the Boston Red Sox is loaded right now. We have tons of players, young players. And I know the argument you're going to make is that they're always shipping out players in the outfield like they have been. But we never have had players like a Mookie Betts and a Jackie Bradley out there. So for that argument's almost irrelevant.
Thank you guys. Great stuff. Now on to football talk, and we're going to be talking about the New England Patriots. And right now, many people believe that they're going to get off to a rocky start now that Patriots quarterback Tom Brady suspension from Deflategate has been reinstated by the NFL and the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals. And Chris, what do you think about the Patriots' chances this year?
The Patriots, I've been watching them obviously now 10 years. So obviously I'm biased a little bit, but I know that this team, no matter how bad it seems, the situation seems, or how bad they are on paper, they seem to find a way to win games. And I know that after the Cardinals in week 1, they are not playing any teams that won double-digit amount of games last season. And I think after losing their opening game at the Cardinals, they're going to be at home for 3 games. They play extremely well at home. I don't think the Dolphins, Texans, or Bills can really do enough to beat them in those last 3 games, even with Jimmy G at quarterback.
So we got a caller now. We're getting Mikey from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Mikey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what's your take on the Patriots going into the season? Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will be able to hold the fort down until Tom Brady comes back from his suspension?
My opinion really is I really don't think so. Don't get straight with Tom. I just don't think so because I don't know if he's worked with many of the receivers yet, like Edelman and Gronk.
So you believe that only time will tell until he gets to know the guys more and possibly go off on a good start for the season?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mikey.
You're welcome.
So, John, after hearing what Mikey had to say, what made you think about the Patriots? Do you think that changes your mind a little bit, or do you?
I actually completely agree with Mikey right now. You have two of your star receivers in Amendola and Edelman right now starting on the PUP list, which basically means they will not be performing in training camp and probably won't be playing in the preseason, meaning Jimmy Garoppolo is not getting the reps with these players that he really desperately needs right now. And if you look at their schedule, I mean, you look at the teams on paper, I mean, besides Arizona, they're all winnable games. But if you look at the defenses that they're playing, which is all above average, with the exception of Miami, that's the only game I'm really going to definitively say for them. But if you look at the Bills and the Texans defense, I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo has the IQ yet of being not really having a starting playing yet to be able to beat those teams. They're more of a coin flip game right now, but I think I'm going to give the advantage to the other teams in Houston and Buffalo right now. But only time will tell with Jimmy.
Yeah, great stuff, John. So that's going to wrap it up for us here on SBC Sports Talk. For my partners Chris Gleason and John Betters, I'm Galen Odell. Have a great day, everyone.